Hello, hello, and welcome to the Here to Uplift podcast, where we center the stories of impactful changemakers, entrepreneurs, and community leaders who have done the hard work of uplifting themselves through adversity to get where they are today, and now uplift others along the way in their journeys. I'm Lolo Fisher, your host, lover of all things wellness, healing, and empowerment, and I would greatly appreciate if you show us your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing this podcast with others. Let's get into it. All right, y'all, welcome back to the Here to Uplift podcast. I am here with my special guest, Denise Do, and I am excited to get into not just what she does career-wise and how she has built wealth for her and her family, but even more so, the journey to get there. So we just gonna start right away. Tell us about your company and what you do.
Oh man, that's fully loaded. When people ask about my company, it's hard because I'm just in the people's business. Because if you actually look at the definition of a company, it's just a gathering of people. Mm-hmm. I try not to call it a company because it feels like it doesn't have a heartbeat.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
I like feels, right? Like a mission is a feeling. A skill is just a skill, right?
Yeah.
A company. So I'm in the money game,
Mm-hmm.
period. And I'm in the people's business, meaning I love developing people.
Right.
Because people move products.
Okay.
People move services, which moves the market, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people overlook people, which is your biggest asset. So company-wise, I am in the financial service space. Anything with money,
Mm-hmm.
I have my hands on or in.
Right.
And I like to keep it moving because money is currency and it should be moving. Because if it's
Yeah,
not moving,
yeah.
that's why you're not having it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think now that I surround myself with more entrepreneurs and business owners, the financial service industry is starting to make sense to me. But when people would say financial services, I'm like, what does that mean? Like taxes, accounting? I would be confused by it.
It is confusing.
Yeah. So what does financial services encompass? And then what is your kind of specialty that you harness into?
Great question. I think when people say finance in general, it's just, okay, you're a doctor, but what kind of doctor?
Yeah,
financial services
exactly.
is so broad. Are you in taxes? You hit on taxes, insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I consider real estate people in financial services, mortgage. Hence why I feel there's a need for a holistic approach.
Okay. Yep.
My specialty is in life insurance and annuities.
Okay.
So
what's an annuity?
Great question. Oh my gosh, she's drilling me already. I didn't realize this is an interview. I thought we were talking about our feelings. I was ready to cry.
We'll
okay.
Get there. I gotta get the smarts first, so then it'll connect.
I don't want people to know I have a brain. I'm just fighting now. An annuity. Are you familiar with a pension plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the annuity is actually an insurance contract to guarantee you never run out of money.
Okay.
Right? What
Okay.
people don't realize is it actually comes from a life insurance company.
Okay.
Okay, so it's basically a pension.
Got you.
But it's pension plan is the best retirement plan back in the day. That's why people serve. They go become a cop and they talk about pensions.
Yep, exactly what my mom did.
Exactly, most people. But because we're living longer now, companies can't afford that. So they replace it with a 401k and pray.
Which does nothing.
Exactly. Tell me one wealthy person you know that raves about their 401k.
No.
But we all buy that plan.
Yes.
And no one's speaking
Because it's the
true
only
to
option, it feels like. When you first get into things, if you don't know somebody to tell you other options, it feels like the only way you can go.
Right? Let me just hopefully my company will take care of me, right? I got a job. Thank you, Google and Apple. And hopefully you're going to keep me for 20, 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that plan happening either. I was like,
and then
but why are we buying
really want
it?
to stay in something for 20 to 30 years either? That's not our generation's pattern either.
Oh, patterns. Yeah. So when it comes to money, I believe I'm just really big on cash flow. So anything that affects cash flow and protects cash flow, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most people don't think like that. They think nest egg. Let me accumulate and gather and have as much as I can, but no one can interpret that. What does that mean to you?
Yeah. So is there a relationship between these concepts you're talking about of pension plan, annuity, life insurance, and credit and debt?
Yes. It all aligns if you, depending on what level you want to play. You want to play the middle class level, you want to play the affluent level. And I ask this is because debt is a fun word for me, right? Let me ask you this. Do you feel all debt is bad? I used to for sure. I think, so you had already mentioned it, like my mom, both my parents actually were sheriff's department, right? So they went that route. Mom has a pension plan that for her, it was a huge deal in terms of providing security for our family and everything. And when I started going the route of doing so many things that were considered riskier, right? It was like, what the heck are you doing? That is not secure.
What, you didn't want to sell your life for a pension?
You know, I tried a little bit so I could have both security and risk, and I went into higher education. So got all the degrees, you know, was going that route, and then I would do the things I actually loved on the side. And that whole time, my goal was always no debt. No debt, no debt, no debt, because
bad,
it was
bad
pounded into my head. And then when I started trying to do my own research about wanting to open my business, it was talking about having good credit. I'm like, it sounds like the only way to have good credit is by creating good debt. So I started doing it in little bits, and like even when I met my partner, he was like, why is your credit score that good? This doesn't make sense. And I was like, well, I went for so long trying to have no debt, and then when I went to go apply for things, they were like, yeah, your credit score is good, but there's nothing here.
No history.
And I didn't know what that meant, so I had to look into it. So now I still have that emotional piece of me that doesn't want debt because of the way it was pounded into my head growing up. And then also just that piece of, I guess I don't want anything to ever hold me back from going forward. But that's where I'm learning now is like, debt can be a good thing if you know how to manage it right.
Absolutely.
And I'm still learning that, but
debt
mind is shifting.
Good, and mine too. And the reason why I'm shifting, I've been in the financial service space for 10 years, but money game wise, I've been obsessed since I picked up Rich Dad Poor Dad as a teen. And that was just an accident. I was at Fry's Electronics.
As a teen?
Yeah.
Ugh, I didn't learn about that till my adulthood, for sure.
And imagine my baby sister at 13. My baby sister is 6 years younger than me and retired. Yeah, so it starts here, but she's an acupuncturist. I was pre-med. Like we tried the higher education route, but kind of God knocked me left to make me right when it came to money. Because I was like, okay, the only way for me to be successful is I have to be a doctor. And not only just any doctor, I'm gonna be a specialist. I was even get into like be an orthopedic surgeon or something. So I'll probably be like $500,000 in debt and hopefully playing the money game. But my mom got sick. Who is a single mom raising 3 kids in Bay Area. I'm the eldest of 3, mommy number 2.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Right, and okay, how do I make money?
Okay, I'm gonna pause you real quick.
When
you started asking this question, mommy number 2, how do I make money? Was it an internal choice and internal questions that you were asking because you wanted to help, or was there an ask of you to start helping?
Internally, just naturally that responsibility, because I always want to contribute. Money is an obsession of mine because of this, because my parents escaped Vietnam, came here because of the Vietnam War. Squeezed, 11, 12, 13 people in a 1-bedroom apartment right by San Jose City. And I hate asking for money. Right? And it's because I know how hard they work for it. So I always wanted to control money or learn how to not ask my parents and not be a burden. So it's a natural because I want to be responsible and not be a burden to my family. That's all. But I didn't realize I had to be extra responsible. And it was just like, you know what, Mom, you've suffered so much already. I'm in America. I know English.
How can I help?
And I'm glad actually my doctor friend sat me down. It was like, who mentored me, who is about to get me a second interview in med school and ask me the big question. Are you sure you want to be a doctor? It's not how it used to be. It's a glorified title, but are you ready for and this was the key word, are you ready for the lifestyle? And I was like, you know what?
You're like, hold on.
No one ever challenged me to think about lifestyle. I was always thinking about what degree do I need, figure it out as I go, and then from there, how much do I need to make, and then pay off my debt. But it was always kind of like unlocking a corridor and never figuring it out. But how about you tell me, or please mentor me, what kind of lifestyle do I want, and let's reverse engineer from that.
Right.
I would rather make 60 grand a year and have all the time in the world. I love freedom. I value freedom.
Yes.
Right? Besides making 100 grand and have no life. So it was a question of lifestyle, and I realized that's when entrepreneurship is like, at least I want to design my life. And we need money. And talk and
as a tool.
As a tool, and there's a lot of healing process in that too. And it's a growing process. But as I break through every identity, my income grows.
is very interesting.
What do you mean breakthrough of your identity?
I know it's probably a loaded statement already. So I'm a firm believer that you will never out-earn your identity.
Okay.
If you believe you're worth $10 an hour, you're $10 an hour. Mm-hmm. Or you're going to ask for $10 an hour. And you're going to be like, oh, if someone gives you $10.50, you're going to sell out.
Yeah.
Right? And you tie your worth to that. But I'm like, Lola, what if I told you you're worth $1,000 an hour?
Yeah.
Nothing to do with your title or anything, but your time is worth $1,000 an hour.
Yes.
Who do you have to be? What kind of skills do you have to make $1,000 an hour?
Yeah. And that's exactly what I mean when I think about leveling up, right? I think what you have said right now, I already have like note. Like there are so many good nuggets in that we're going to come back to, right? And touch on. But I like this piece of identity. So to keep going into it, I actually just had a friend I was talking to. He was helping me move because I've had that whole process of moving from the Central Valley to the Bay Area. And great friend, great work. He's an audio sound engineer, right? Does it for cars, does it for DJs, for different venues and things like that. And a lot of people can't do his job, especially in the area, in the Central Valley. And he was telling me, and he'll probably listen to this later, which will be funny, but he was telling me like how excited he was that he finally advocated for himself and got a raise. And he's like, and it wasn't a little raise, it was a big raise. But when he told me how much it was, I was like, to me, that's not a big raise. And I'm thinking of it because I see from the outside his worth. Yeah. And because I'm traveling to all these places and seeing like, I know what these people get paid elsewhere. And I was like, you need to ask for more. Like, I'm glad you advocated for yourself. And that's like the first step in building that courage. But to your point of, you know, you're the one who decides and communicates your value, your worth, particularly when it comes to career and the work you're doing and your time. And I was like, you're getting underpaid and they're paying you that because you're telling them that's what you're worth. They said yes immediately to you asking for that raise because they already know you're worth more. Yeah. But until you see it in yourself, you can't advocate for yourself.
I wouldn't be surprised if he asked for more, he would have got an automatic yes already.
Yeah, and he is such a sweetheart. But I feel like I see this pattern more often for women.
Oh, 10,000%.
Right? And I know I've done it myself too. Like in higher ed, that was one of the reasons I left is I finally started realizing my worth when I was like doing 5 or 6 people's job for my own. And because I was working at a public university, you can look up those salaries. And I was like, okay, I'm doing the director's job. People are calling me director. People are calling me interim director. But when I go look up what they're getting paid, simple things, right? $30,000+ more than I was getting paid for doing that role and 4 others for over 3 years. And I was advocating. I was writing memos. I was talking to the supervisors. I was even saying, I'm not going to do these things until you pay me more. I was trying to do all the things that you're trained to do to advocate for yourself with all promises of change, of course, no actual change. And that was when I was like, I have to value myself more. I can't keep doing this. But it was so hard. Like my therapist was hearing from me. Like it was that was the biggest relationship in the past few years, I'd say, that was a hurdle for me, and I didn't think of it that way.
Your career? Your relationship?
Yeah, my relationship with my career.
Especially because you worked so hard for higher education.
Yes.
All that time involved, all that you poured into.
Yes.
Right?
And it was this level of disappointment in something I had worked so hard to invest in and cared about that at the end of the day, they weren't valuing me, and it was causing me to question my own worth.
And I just want to take this moment to really commend and honor that because... And I'm glad you did, because I can tell you over and we probably know, 100% of the audience right now probably do not like their job.
Yeah.
Right? And there's always like this inkling in us, like we want something different, but we're scared.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Oh, fear is such a driver.
And they feel it's all or nothing. I have to get a job or be an entrepreneur. But I really welcome, do the blend and side hustle, discover your gift.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We are leaning... The economy is leaning more towards freelance and back to the barter system, which I love. Yeah. You're a baker, you're a blacksmith, you're a DJ. I just like whatever your gift is, let's trade.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like having engineer friends who's making multiple 6 figures baking cookies.
Yes.
And it's like the best freaking cookies. And I was like, where is this?
Yes, like because we are multi-hyphenates as humans, period. Even though culturally we might have been told to box in, but I think that's also one of the beauties of, I won't say becoming multicultural because
the U.S. has always been multicultural, but the more, you know, we become the majority, the more we start seeing systems that were really practiced in Eastern society and West African societies that just Western civilization wasn't with the shits, you know?
Yeah, exactly, because we're built here for the Henry Ford days, assembly line, industrial age.
Yes,
See,
and it doesn't work for everyone.
when was it? I mean, to me, well, I gotta be kind of careful what I'm saying, because everything is kind of fully loaded.
Of course.
Like, naturally, human beings, we're all entrepreneurial, one way or another. We have this gift, there's this trade, right? Since when can we own a human being for $4,000 or $5,000 a month or less? And you're willing to do whatever I tell you. You can't take a vacation, you can't do this. Like, when was that okay?
It's like brainwashing.
It is. Everything's brainwashing. I can brainwash you to be an entrepreneur. This podcast can brainwash you to be a better human being, but you don't have to listen. But success leaves clues.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
Right? And I have this movement of conscious capitalism. Like, I love capitalism.
Capitalism. Okay.
Right? Where you can use capitalism, which is just resources to grow money and have tools, and do it to better the world.
Yeah.
Because I believe
because it's not inherently bad.
No, and that's the first relationship problem people have is money is evil. Okay, let's check that. Great resource, by the way. There's this book I love, which I highly recommend, and it was through my money coach. Her name is Kristen Knoll. The book is called Stop Chasing, Start Attracting.
Stop Chasing, Start Attracting. I hear the phrase a lot, so I'm gonna definitely have to look up that book.
And she basically translated 5 languages of love and all the different personal development things, but into money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I read this book and like
give me the feels and the logic. Okay.
$20 came out of my dryer. I was like, man, I'm a money magnet now. Like ho'oponopono, like the therapy, but for money. Like you're healing money wounds, and I'm like, I never thought of it like that.
Yes. You know what? I have been hearing a lot about healing money wounds, and it's funny that you say this because in my process of just moving, my boyfriend was joking with me, like, you do not have to go through everything. If you know you haven't seen it in a while, just throw it away. And I was like, no, because I know myself.
Yeah.
By going through each and every box and every paper file, I found $500.
Because you hide money?
Yes.
Yes, same. My books, don't come my books.
Shoot.
When I donate books, I'm careful.
You're about to give me some, like, money wound healing right now. But the surprising thing, I'm so surprised you said, like, because you hide money, because I always hide money. And he asked me, why do you hide money from yourself? And I was like, that's a great question. Like, sometimes it would just be a savings thing. Like, I'm going to put it in a way so that, like, I can save it for later.
And then you forget it's there.
But then you forget it's there.
Yeah.
And I liked when I would forget it's there.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, I didn't actually need it. And then when I do need it, it's there. But at the same time, like, how is that a way of attracting money? Like, to me, that's still a scarcity mindset that I'm, like, putting it away. So now I'm challenging myself, well, like, shoot, anytime I have cash, my natural tendency is hide it from myself. That's hard to get over.
That's true. And I have 2 stories to this. And there's this line I kept spoken, like, how you treat your honey is how you treat your money. Like, it's a relationship. Like, honestly, how you treat your money is probably most likely like all your other relationships.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. It's the same, right?
Ooh,
and scared money.
I'm ready for that.
I know. Okay, we ready for
money?
this?
Don't make no money.
And also jealous money. Like, you want to hold on too tight. It doesn't flow like that. Right? And my first healing process, a trigger was, I remember I was on the way up in my career, making multiple 6 figures. I had an agency and I was training up a team, and some of my agents were close enough to me to come over to my house. Okay. And then one of my agents was like, Denise, kind of pulled me aside to have a private conversation. I was like, did he just room raid me? Like, or what's going on? Like, what? Yeah. He goes, I just noticed you have just money laying around. Like, just cash everywhere. I just throw it. Like, okay, like here. Like, I wasn't, he goes, indirectly that kind of shows you don't respect money. Oh. And I was like, interesting. That's interesting, because my mindset, it's easy for me to make money. Yeah. And to me, it's easy come, easy go. Because naturally, as a hustler, I'm like, I've never had a money challenge. Money always loves me. Yeah. But what am I doing? Am I stewarding it well? Am I growing? Am I protecting? I didn't think of it that way yet. Yeah. Now, when I see a penny, I pick it up, and I'm like, money loves me. I love a penny.
You're like, hello.
And we always find money, right? Yeah. And once I improve that, everything else improves, because I realize I overlook certain things. Sometimes when it's easy to come, easy go. Yep. Like sometimes, or like to say attractive women, we get hit on all the time. It's like, next. Yeah, yeah. Same with money, right? So I had to check that. So I'm more committed to taking care of my money. I'm more more committed to protecting it and making sure he or she feels really loved and respected and like that it's in good use.
Yeah, it's like, I appreciate you. I'm going to
Yeah.
use you well.
Yeah.
And I would like more of you so that I can give it freedom, whatever the reason is.
So that relates to me hiding money in books because I was careless. I can be carefree. That's my nature. I'm thinking, okay, I'm carefree. That's why I'm really concerned about labeling or language.
Yeah.
I'm always checking lens and language, always, right? So when I hide money, I'm like, okay, this is fun. You know, that's cool. But indirectly, I feel like I was being reckless.
Yeah.
Careless is different than carefree.
Yeah.
So now I'm more
very
careful.
Nice play.
Thank you. I know.
Wordplay. All right. Diction.
Yeah.
Check on the diction. We good?
Yeah. So there's a lot money will tell you in your relationship. So total, like going back to how this all started, you talked about debt.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm a huge living benefits advocate. So what is living benefits life insurance? And this was the first revolution that turned me on to financial services in general. Around 2007, the most powerful industry, if you didn't know, life insurance is the most powerful industry, like wealthy industry in the world. It controls everything. They're the one who buys corporate bonds, government bonds, etc. Banks put their money in life insurance companies. Hint, hint.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Bank-owned life insurance, BOLI. Corporate-owned life insurance. How do you... The wealthiest all play in this space. That's why I said, are you asking as a middle class or an affluent? Because there's two different mindsets I have to learn how to translate.
Gotcha.
Money is just a language. That's all it is. Okay. So I know I'm like, what is living benefits life insurance? That's life insurance you don't have to die to use.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of life insurance you don't have to die to use? Because every time we think life insurance, you have to die.
Yes, right.
So now, because we're living longer, this insurance company, National Life Group, was one of the leaders in this. They're like, look, what if we can give people access to their death benefit if they get sick?
Yeah.
Heart attack, stroke, cancer, disability. 'Cause me coming from the medical field, I'm like, that's a huge problem. Most people go bankrupt, lose their home because of an illness.
Yes, medical bills.
Now it's added for free in life insurance.
Oh.
And that's when I found the niche. I was like,
Okay.
so I just go out and upgrade everyone's existing policy because 70% of the nation has life insurance, they have to die.
Yeah.
I can just upgrade.
So is it separate, living benefits from death benefits, or is it all considered one policy?
One policy.
Okay.
It's all in one.
Nice.
I know, it's a different mindset. Right now, out of like 800 and something insurance companies, maybe six have them now. That's fully loaded that I feel I would trust my mom in.
Okay.
Right.
Is it an if then? If you need it while you're living, then it no longer applies once you die? Or
here's ready for maybe it's best if I tell you how it works.
Give
right?
it to me.
So we had this client in our agency, 32-year-old, works at Tesla, Bay Area, bought $1 million policy from us.
Okay.
2 years later, had a stroke.
Oof.
Common.
I
Didn't
guess
die.
that's some good
Also
timing, though.
common. How many times are we getting sick and not dying?
Yeah.
All the time.
Yep.
Because he had a living benefits policy of $1 million, we made a claim. In that claim, the insurance company came back and says, hey, because you didn't die, because if you died, here's $1 million contractually. But because you didn't die and you had a critical illness, here's $849,000 tax-free. Here's your options. We love options when we need it most.
Right.
And that's why I'm such an advocate for this. You either can take the whole thing. If you take $849,000, you forfeit the difference, $150. Is that okay? I save, the insurance companies save $150 because you didn't die.
Yeah.
But you gain $849,000 tax-free. And you don't have to pay it back.
Okay. And then you could always continue because you're alive.
$849,000. You can do whatever the heck you want with it. That's what I love. Pay your mortgage, keep the lights on, YOLO, start a business. So many people, money gives you options.
Yeah.
Especially in bad news like that.
Yeah.
And what I love about this plan is also you can partially accelerate. So to answer your if, is it if and then? It's depends. What do you need? Okay, well, Denise, I don't, listen for math's sake, I don't need $850,000. Give me half, $425. So what happens is the death benefit prorates whatever percentage down.
Okay.
So 1 million minus 50% is $500,000.
Yep.
$500,000 plus 425, that's $925,000 in benefits total. Insurance companies save $75,000. You gain $925,000.
Shoot, that's not
So
a bad
that
deal.
so that $500,000 you can use for later for
Yep.
either a disability or terminal illness. So you have all the other riders you didn't use
Yeah.
and or death.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost you anything extra.
Right.
And 98% of the world has no idea about this.
No, and it's something that I've just barely started like touching on, and thankfully meeting folks who do this work.
Yeah.
That it's fascinating to me that we're never educated on this.
Well,
Most,
no.
I won't say everybody, most, particularly
they
Black
don't.
and brown families, like are not educated on this.
Or let me ask you this: would you be open to being educated about it? Or are you gonna? Here's where I'm. You mentioned Black and brown. I'm yellow, brown, black. I don't know. I'm all or whatever.
We ain't white.
Yeah, that's exactly
I mean,
what it is.
technically, I kind of am, but like,
Yeah,
you know.
I get you. The hardest culture, and it's in every culture. It's this is the biggest, I'll call it, excuse I get when I talk about money. Well, my people don't do that. My people, my parents didn't give me anything.
Same response I hear about mental health.
Victim all day.
Yep.
I was like, dude, we were very wealthy in Vietnam, came here with nothing, no English, and we still made it. What is your excuse?
Yeah.
And the more I try to, it's harder for me. You ever heard, you know Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad? You said you've heard. He said, he has this line, he says, broke is temporary,
Okay.
poor is eternal.
Oh, because it's a mindset.
Exactly. See, for me, you can take away all my money and I will still make it back. You can throw me in Africa, I'll still be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
Yep. Right? Because I can see I'm trained different
Yeah.
now. Have I
Right.
always been there? No. It took a lot of influence, books, and trying,
Yes,
right? But once
yes.
you have that muscle, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Now your muscle of entrepreneurship, before it's give me a pension or give me that 30,000 raise, you're like,
Yep.
no, how can I make that in 1 week now?
Right. Yes, exactly. It's shifting not the what, but the how.
Or can I upgrade you real quick?
Please.
Okay, so I've there's different levels of mentorship, right?
Right.
One mentor that helped me got to the level I got to recently, but now I'm going for my next level.
Okay.
He said, Denise, it's not who you know, it's not what you know, it's where you're going. Because if you know where you're going, all the who and what will follow.
In the same way that you were talking about attracting money,
Same
attracting
thing.
people, attracting opportunities, attracting the network,
You have to attract relationship capital
if you have that
matter.
vision.
Exactly, because you know where you're going.
Yeah.
So I'm reading this book called Who Not How. I've never had a book that I had to read a chapter 4 or 5 times because it's so profound.
Yeah.
And there's this one worksheet, it's called the impact filter.
The impact filter. Okay.
You're gonna have to do it. It's basically, it helps you break down your vision, your purpose,
Yeah.
and says, okay, who do you need? What's the consequences? And all. I'm like,
Ooh, I love
my
some
God.
reflection. Give me some
Yeah.
strategic thinking. I'm ready.
Exactly. And actually it comes from a program called Strategic Coach,
Oh,
right? Dan
perfect.
Sullivan. So it's perfect. And
Oh yeah. Okay. I think that's a book also, right? I think
a lot, yeah.
There's,
He
there's
has a lot.
multiple from him. But
Yep. I was just
Not one
recently
of them.
introduced to him. But the better question now, especially in entrepreneurs, just in humanity, is instead of asking how,
Yeah.
ask who.
Yeah.
And there's this part that I'm fascinated with, and it talks about the wisdom of procrastination. Because when we're starting a new career or we're starting a new business, there's a lot of things that holds us back technically, right? Because we're like, I don't know finances. How the hell am I going to do this? I don't know how to use a calculator.
Right.
Right? And money freaks me out. So naturally, I'm going to stagnate or not take that first step. So there was this little phrase that says there's wisdom in procrastination, because you're procrastinating because naturally, if you had the skills and the wisdom, you would have done it already.
You would have tackled it. Yeah.
But because you don't, you should ask for who can get it done for you.
Okay, I love this. Love
Okay.
this. It like sparked
Yeah.
it because I feel like that was one of the mindsets that had to shift for me when I went from, I guess, employee to like business owner and entrepreneur, but just in general, me growing and leveling up. That was one of the hardest things for me because it's, I guess, both a skill, strength, and a weakness is learning. I love learning. So when I see something that I don't know or a problem, I go put all my time into figuring it out, learning it. How do I do this myself? Blah, blah, blah. And as I'm like starting to grow and level up and build my own business and learn from others who have been making 6, 7, 8 plus figures, it's like, why are you wasting your time learning how to do something in completion or to expert level when there's people who that's their passion and that's what they do?
Yeah, and they would do it for $5, $10, $12 an hour.
Outsourcing, delegation, the things that I would like, the hyper independence in me, which you know, inner child, all the things that we can talk about.
I will hug your little girl.
Hugging my inner child right now.
I see you. You
don't
matter.
have to do it alone. But you know, it's true. Like growing up, that hyper independence was strong, and I felt like I had to do everything myself. And whenever I did ask for help, it wasn't done to the level I wanted, or I would lose trust, as if like I'm not allowed to make mistakes, so I wouldn't allow others to make mistakes.
Oh my God, that's so deep and so relevant in all
it's
levels.
Just finding the right who's to get things done.
Yes.
And I can learn a little bit to operate, but
Yeah.
I don't need to be an expert in every single thing.
Just on what you're good at.
Because then I'm wasting my talents and skills and gifts because I don't have the energy for it anymore when I'm trying to spread myself out.
Exactly. And you can't have single point of failures as an entrepreneur. There's a difference between, well, the cash flow. I love the cash flow quadrant, right?
Yeah.
And when you're talking about someone who's hyper independent, which I am still, and I'm learning how to leverage. That's why that book is such a breakthrough for me. And it's like I realize I have a big problem to solve and I can't do it myself without killing myself, which I've done before. Like day and night, I have the energy, but I will crash and my quality goes down because I'm just trying to carry the whole business, the whole team, my whole family on my back, and I'm willing to. That's just my heart. Putting myself last, though, right? But I'm like, wait, hold up. If I don't show up, what would happen? Hence why I'm like, now I'm so systems driven.
Yes.
Everything is systematic. Everything is replaceable. Everyone is replaceable. And when you walk into my culture versus company, you can't tell who's the leader. And that's what I love.
That's beautiful.
Right?
That's beautiful.
And it's a safe place to share ideas. And we're all hyper independent in the right way.
Right.
When I say, usually when I teach a class or a train, I always ask, like I put up a diagram, I go, who's the leader, right? Is it this, or this? They're like, well, it's the client, it's this director, it's the trainer. And I was like, everyone and no one. Everyone's a leader in your function. Because without you functioning in your space, I can't function in mine.
Yes.
It's an intra-dependence.
It creates that system of both trust and accountability that we have to work together to make this work and find success.
We have to.
Yeah.
And the only thing that pulls all the egos, because trust me, entrepreneurs have healthy egos, right? And I'm in the business of managing it and or empowering it and pulling it out. And the only thing that can drive that is you have to have such a just cause to pull the best out of everyone. Like, look, the mission's calling your bullshit out, not me.
Shoot.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
mission, vision, values.
Exactly.
My favorite thing.
And we drive that, we speak that language always, and it checks us. And it checks us. And I had something so good. We're talking about you being an entrepreneur. So a lot of people go into entrepreneurship or they become specialists, like your friend, the AV guy, right? Because he has so much value and it's irreplaceable, that's how we're bred in the employee mindset. If I want to move up the corporate ladder and higher education, I have to be irreplaceable. I have to be the best of the best.
Yes.
But that means you're going to be employed for the rest of your life.
Right.
And that's a habit we have to break. My gift and curse is naturally I come off very talented.
Yeah.
And people, the one thing that kills my business and future business is whenever I hear someone say, Denise, I can't be like you, my heart breaks every time. Because I'm like, wait, you're not supposed to be like me. Here's the system. Literally proven over and over and over again. If you do this, you'll become successful. But somehow they think they have to be like me. And that's what killed off a lot of my agents who aspire but felt like they couldn't keep up. But I'm like, you have the whole mindset wrong. Instead of being like me, aren't you glad I'm on your side? You got like the ultimate Pokemon, you know what I mean? Like freaking
choose yours.
Yeah. Denise, I choose you. I'm like, I will back you up like no other. You will not fail in my watch. And if you do, we'll work through it and we'll try again. You know?
And I think it's more the question, particularly when we're talking about mentorship and just building people up, developing folks, it's the why. why do you want to be like me, and what are those particular skill sets you're actually trying to
Yeah.
achieve? What are the goals you're trying to see? Is it time freedom? Is it time with your family?
Yeah.
Like out of control? Then let's find a way for you to do it in your own way and succeed using the systems in place. But so often folks are just trying to mimic instead of really understanding the path, the skill set, the pattern, the mindset.
Oh, there you have it. And also, I think because people are just so used to being told what to do versus how to think.
That's our school system.
Yeah, and
It's the banking method, right?
Right.
Which reminded me what you were saying of shifting from employee and finding that irreplaceable side. Since we're talking about books, because I'm like loving it. I'm like such a reader. Linchpin,
yes,
right?
yes, the orange one.
Yes, the
Yes.
orange book. The orange book with the lightning bolts.
Yes.
Linchpin for sure. And then now, oh gosh, I'm like losing my train of thought now.
No, it's okay because we have so many
I know,
trains
there's
going.
so many things. Linchpin for sure is like another
We'll be
book
back
I'd
to the next
recommend.
episode,
in
part
terms
2.
of- right.
Yeah.
Next time we're just having a book talk.
Yeah. Book club.
Reading-
I'm
reading Rainbow?
huge.
Reading
I'm huge.
Rainbow. Definitely tangent right now, but book clubs piss me off.
Why?
Because I love the idea of book club, and every time I have signed up for one, joined one, tried to host one, nobody else reads.
No.
And then everybody wants to fake it and talk like they read the book, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh my
I
God.
actually read it.
I was trying to.
It always makes me so mad.
Okay, then me and you, we can start our own, and any
Yes.
other nerdcore person.
Yes, please, hit us
So
up.
what's cool is on Insuring Impact on our IG, you learn on Instagram you can have guides,
Yes.
right? So I have book guides,
Oh, do you?
so that it's a evergreen book club, because
Oh.
everyone kind of starts in their own.
Yep.
And for me, they're like, Denise, what book do you recommend? And I think it's bad advice if you don't know where they're at,
Oh, okay.
right? So you can't linchpin someone who is cash flow 101.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
True. That's true.
So if you're in a position to have influence or leadership or mentorship, please be careful on what you recommend people.
Yes.
Please seek to understand them and then recommend that book accordingly, or don't recommend anything at all, because you
Yeah.
can possibly kill someone out of their journey and their dream because
Right.
they feel like, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I haven't even read one book in my life, and you're giving me a book this thick. You see what I'm saying?
You're like, that is a little bit too much for me right
Exactly.
now. Yeah.
So-
or even just conceptually, sometimes folks aren't ready for the concepts if they don't have the foundational knowledge.
Exactly. Or how about you just follow this YouTube page? My favorite YouTube, especially for entrepreneurs, Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David, amazing.
I'm not familiar. Okay.
Oh, a lot of my strategy, tactics, like, he's such a thought leader.
Yeah.
Love his book called The Next 5 Moves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I think I mentioned
now I know
that.
who you're talking about.
Patrick, Alex Hermosi,
Yep,
the Mosey
yep.
Nation, and his wife, amazing when it comes to entrepreneurship. And I love the transparency with
Mm-hmm.
that. And I feel, turn your car into a university on wheels.
Yep.
We don't have time to read. We get it. We're all
Yes.
busy.
Ooh,
Start
that's why
listening.
I love podcasts and audiobooks.
Mhm. And
for
that's
sure.
where we need you, right? And thank you for pulling this out of me, because I've been under a rock, and
And
people
you had all these gems, and now somebody gets to hear it.
yay.
Somebody who needs it is hearing it right now.
I hope it helps.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna help. It's helping me right
Okay,
now.
cool.
Like notes in my head, coming back later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
It is. And so, yeah, going back to the employee mindset where
Mm-hmm.
the irreplaceableness, that will kill most of us out of the business.
Yeah.
When you realize you have to be replaced,
Yeah.
either through a system or AI now, or
Mm-hmm.
because we can't do it all. Business is a team sport.
Yeah.
Life is a team sport.
Yes. Yes.
Right? So, again, another profound statement I got from Who Not How is, I forgot what it said, but it was in the lines of, and I talk to myself when I read this. I gotta talk to an expert. I'm just saying.
I gotta talk to
You're
the
an
expert.
so
Let me
I'll
go
be
pull
right
my
back.
ear out real
Yeah.
quick. 1 second.
Because I love books that just ask big questions.
Yeah.
That's why I can't even go past chapter 1. I don't even think I can graduate chapter 1 yet. I don't even know who I am.
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
it's like face your shit university all day. Being an entrepreneur is like face your shit university.
Yeah.
And every shit you go through, you'll make more. And it requires the work.
Yes.
Because you
Yes.
will fail or succeed based on you.
Yeah.
Which is empowering and scary at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a muscle you can build. Because
Yeah.
it's just a bounce back game. That's all it is.
Right.
Expect to fail. But
Expect
my
to
bounce back
fail.
game is so good. Before it would take me like 3 weeks to recover. Plus anti-flow, maybe 4 weeks.
Ugh. just leave the whole month. and then we'll start over.
we can start over. And then 1 week, and then maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
Now my bounce back game is pretty solid.
It's like a muscle.
It is.
You have
And
to
I'm like,
flex
okay.
the muscle.
I'm like, okay, maybe a few minutes. And people are just like, how the hell did you just go through that drama, that person, this thing, and you're smiling? I was like,
Yep.
I focus on what I can control.
Yeah. 3 things. Power of the pivot.
Okay, tell me more. I'm taking notes.
Resilience.
Okay.
Would be the second one that I'm hearing from you as these examples. And that third one is truly positivity or optimism, but without the toxic positivity.
What's a toxic
That's what I'm
positivity?
hearing. Toxic positivity is those folks who are smiling and stay positive through everything, no matter like what shit is going on, no matter the hard times, no matter the challenges, but with the lack of awareness and accountability that things are bad.
Yeah.
So it's that piece of like, ooh, that really sucked. It's fine. Something else is better.
Oh my God.
But, you know,
Yeah,
if
okay.
something's fine, no, let's address it.
Yeah.
Be real. It's okay that you don't feel happy 100% of the time. And the positivity and optimism is about the hope for the future and being present with yourself through the challenge, not pretending like it didn't exist. And I think there's been, in higher education, that's a huge thing in student affairs, toxic positivity for the sake of the students, like for staff that are working with students. It's like, just put on your happy face. And it's like, no, like they're humans too. Like you can be real with them.
Yeah.
Like we lost all our funding. Let's talk about it. You know
Yes.
what I mean?
Let's
be
solve
real.
this problem.
But I hear you, the bounce back game for me, that was what you're saying. To me, that's the power of the pivot, being able to shift perspectives quickly and realize that there's more opportunities. Because I think a lot of times when something happens, the folks who aren't able to bounce back is because they're seeing it as black or white. This didn't work out, so that means all these other things are a no. If this, then this.
Yeah.
But it's like, if this, what's out there?
Exactly.
And that's like, to me, that's the power of
The
the pivot,
pivot.
is being able to say, I can pivot to all these different directions. It's not one way or the other.
Love that.
Yeah. We got a cute dog coming
Yeah.
by. Hey, what's up, buddy?
With the beats too.
He looks warm though.
Yeah, I love that pink. While you're talking about the power of the pivot, and I've never heard the term toxic positivity, and I see it a lot. I like to break things out in quadrants.
Okay.
Strategic quadrants when leading or opportunity, and you like SWOT analysis. Like I like quadrants. I'm a quadrant all day type, and diagrams. Because I work visually. That's how I need. So we would filter like who's your A players, B players, who's ready, not ready. Because in business or in life, I think it's very binary. It is or it isn't. Ready, not ready. Your market, not your market. And I'm gonna fish. I'm not gonna fish in mud.
Okay.
I'm gonna fish in the ocean where I know that's where I can be profitable.
Okay, see, I'm gonna struggle with this already. I'm gonna just tell you now, because binary, like instantly that word starts like, I don't like it. So please tell me more. Tell me more so I can understand.
It's yes or no. Are you profiting or not profiting?
Okay.
Like there's the truth,
Yes. Okay.
right? And then there's your truth, which is subjective.
I see.
Business,
I
why
see.
I love business on this side is numbers, and numbers don't lie. But people can't face the numbers sometimes. So toxic positivity actually kills a lot of very positive thinking. Like, dude, yeah, you're positive. You can network all day. You're attractive. You look like an influence online, but you're broke.
Yeah.
You're not profitable.
Okay.
Let's talk to that.
I hear you.
It is or it isn't.
Got you.
You're profitable or you're not, right?
Yes.
It has nothing to do with your attitude.
It's just about facing the truth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay,
what
I
business
got
will
you.
pull out of you. And I'm sorry, I know binary is a very sensitive word.
Well,
Lot
no,
of
but that's
the-
why, you know,
yeah.
that's the point, is like, okay, for me, I'm like, things aren't binary. But when you say it like that, I understand what you mean.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Or learning to, I struggled in the beginning with you because I love to seek to understand it. It is and it's so let's work in the gray. I love the gray. But that's why we'll not make profit.
Yes.
We'll waste too much energy in the gray when this client isn't ready. Why am I trying to force this client to be ready?
Yeah.
It's like, ready? Not? Okay, we'll move on.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to convince.
Yeah.
Where business sales, or at least how I want to cultivate our sales force or servicing force most likely, is we're in the business of sorting. Just sorting. Right? Is this your target market or not?
Yeah.
Are they ready or not ready?
Who's for you, who's not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where we have that attraction power. Because we're not desperate. You don't see the commission breath. Because if you have that much value, here's the thing. As an entrepreneur, you should do something so aligned with you that sells itself that you shouldn't have to worry about selling.
Yeah.
If it feels like sales, maybe it's not for you. Find something else that lights you up.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like I see this with a lot of real estate agents. Like that's what immediately comes to my mind as you say this, in the difference between residential and commercial. Folks looking for commercial real estate, it's usually about the numbers. What's the size of the space? What's the numbers for it? Is it gonna make my business profitable or not to have this space? But with residential, ooh, it's the feels. Do I love this house as a home for my family? So like the way you sell to somebody a commercial space versus a residential space, completely different in how you say yes or no or face the truth. And you do have to sell from that emotional perspective, I feel like, when I'm talking to real estate agents who do it for the residential side versus the commercial side. It's numbers, it's the money game, it's figuring out the clear concepts that are going to make your business profitable. And that is the gap between those two is the challenge I work in, I think, that I'm still learning, I should say.
It's a constant loving and learning. New levels, new devils, my friend.
Yeah.
Because first you're gonna have to learn how to manage 1,000, and then it'll be 10, and then 100. But if you don't even know how to manage this, attract, keep, protect, grow this, forget this, the universe won't give it to you.
Yeah.
Most time it's the identity thing. Like, I remember I fell in the flex culture, or I was married to flex culture-ish type of culture. The Benz, you know, the bags, I can't even pronounce these brands because that's how much I'm not into it, but I bought it anyway just because I felt like I'm hanging out with everyone who's doing it, but it's not me. And I remember going to a fancy freaking dinner and company trip, and someone said, "You don't have these type of shoes?" I was like, "Why?" I look expensive, but if you look at me, it's just how I carry myself. My confidence is priceless. Y'all have to overcompensate. I don't get it. But because I felt like social media wouldn't take me seriously if I don't look like money, etc. So I had all that.
Yeah.
But easily what I see is people, if you're used to $50,000 a year and you make $250,000, you will spend as if you had $50,000.
Yeah.
So all this seem excess, so they won't get to their next level.
Right.
There's always this gap to your next. And people are like, when are you done? Trust me, it's never a done thing. It's a million and then, hi friends, you can feel our spirit, huh? You're a spirit guy.
Hi. You're going to make my dog very mad.
It's okay. Oh, I know.
Hi. Hi.
For a commercial break.
Surprise guest.
You can't make that up. You can't.
Nope.
Oh my God, where were we going at? There were so many things we're talking about.
I know, it's like, whew. Okay.
Huh?
Flex culture.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's usually an identity. It's an identity gap more than anything else. And in my new venture, you're talking about this money game. I'm obsessed with the money game. But what people don't know about the game, there's rules. How can you play a game when you don't know the rules?
Yeah.
How money works, the rule of 72. How does taxes work? So people are playing a game, they don't realize they don't know the rules.
And I'm going to be real about why I didn't learn the rules when I had the opportunity to. I was too worried about who made these rules up and getting mad about it.
Oh,
you know what
power
I mean?
to the people, like,
my work in higher ed was social justice education.
I
So,
mean, of course,
you know?
it has to be anything against injustice.
But it's a thing. It's like, don't get so caught up, worried about what's wrong, who's right, the systems of oppression, when you have the opportunity to figure it out right in front of you.
Yeah.
And I missed that opportunity by being mad about the system. And I think that's also a lot of cultural issues that we see. Like when we were talking about that victim mentality, closed offness, like you don't want to learn. Sometimes it's just like you're carrying so much anger and trauma and hurt from whatever you've seen your family go through.
Or sometimes I see all these wealthy kids rebel to not blow all the money away. There's different relationships, right? Until you find that defining moment see, for me, I understand. I get pissed off about that stuff too.
Yeah.
Like for me, what I do and I'm trying to educate as a thought leader, I'm just a thought merchant. That's how I see myself. It's like, okay, who told you debt is bad?
Yeah.
Right? Who said women are whatever? I'm a woman making good money. So I just plant those seeds.
Yeah.
And then most of the time they'll, well, I'm going to go Google it. Okay, well, who markets on Google?
Yeah.
Wall Street, the IRS, and the banks.
Yeah.
Do they want you to know the rules? I'm trying to teach you things in books. They say
Yes.
you want to keep a secret, put it in the book.
Yes.
I'm trying to teach you things that the affluent has been doing. Sure, they can be white. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care who they are. I just need to know the rules
Yeah.
so I can put my people up front. I just need access.
Yep.
That's all I want. I want a seat at the table. So for the once in my life, recently I have a seat at the table.
Yep. And then you start making your own tables.
Exactly. And I'm welcoming him. There's plenty of room at the top.
Yep.
Plenty. If you're willing.
Yep.
And I didn't see a victim. I saw opportunity.
Yes.
I saw, okay, there's no women at this table. There's no people of color at this table. There's
Right.
no millennial at this table.
Right.
A lot of you guys will probably complain and be like, look at them. But do you even want to see at the table?
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
With great power becomes great responsibility, right?
Great responsibility.
Which also equals money. Honestly, the higher up you go,
Yeah.
the more money you make, it's because you have more responsibility.
Right.
Because I can solve a bigger problem you can't. That's why the market will pay me X amount.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So impact and income is the same thing,
Yes.
right? And I realize, why do I want to develop people? Because I may not, Denise can only do this much. But what if I made better Denises?
Yeah.
Time 100,
Yeah.
times 1,000. Maybe to your podcast, I attracted more people who look like me, sound like me, or maybe
Right.
aspire to be who I
Right.
want to be,
Serving as that model.
right?
And showing that it's possible.
That's all.
Yep.
I don't have it all figured out. I will never have it all figured out. But here's my survival guide,
Yeah.
right? But please do it better.
Right.
I'm not hiding anything. Like, I want you, if I did it in 10 years, please do it in 5.
But not everybody's willing to put in that work.
Exactly.
And learn.
Right? And make sure you have the right person in your ear.
Yeah.
And when it comes to podcasts or all this content creation and social media marketing, I love it and I'm scared of it at the same time for my children, because I have an 8-year-old or soon to be 8, soon to be 5. And I'm just like, man, I have to make sure I teach them how to process.
Oh, that critical thinking piece.
Yeah, it's like, is that the truth?
Ask more questions.
Exactly. I want to teach them how to think, because I can't control what
Yeah.
they see on YouTube. Like, my son will say the F word. I'm like, you know what that means? Like, where did you even learn that? I thought I blocked everything, you know? But I was like, you know what? Tell me all the bad words you know. This is how my conversation with my kid now. Tell me all the bad words you know. Okay, great. Do you know what it means?
Yeah.
When do you, like, now they can listen to a song, or we love to share music. My son would say, Mom, it has like one bad word. But I don't hear it. I'm like, what?
Where?
What? But I'm glad that we can address that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing I want to share, and I'm not sure how long we're going over because we do this all
you're
over.
fine.
I'm not
You're
sure if
good.
you can
You're
hear
good.
us with the music, but it's probably perfect
I'm hoping
background
these mics
music.
are strong enough.
Yeah. Is when you take someone's advice,
Yeah.
whoever from wherever, you take their lifestyle. So examine their lifestyle.
Yeah.
Is it congruent
Is it
with
what you want to reflect?
Exactly. Sure, this person's a wealthy gazillionaire, but their family is shitty and their health is out of whack. No, thank you.
Right. Right.
That's not the type of back to lifestyle,
Yep.
how we open.
Yep.
I'm seeking lifestyle. If I were to say I'm a business, my lifestyle is my product.
Yeah.
If you want a lifestyle like this that inspires, here's the realm.
Yep.
Here's the mentorship program. Here's the platform I can put you on
Right.
to at least give you a head start.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna train you so well that you have all the skills to go out there and probably be a C-suite.
Yep.
Right? But you're gonna realize you're worth more than that. But I'm gonna treat you so good, you're gonna stay. You know what I mean? Like, that's Insuring Impact, shameless plug.
Yes.
Seriously, and that's our model. If you look at our site, it's Insuring Impact beyond insurance. And it's a play on word. I'm ensuring impact. I'm making sure that our kids are set up.
Yes.
Regardless if it's whoever in politics or any type of, like, at least they know this.
Right. Right.
Like, okay, my mom taught me how to process this. Okay, how does money work? Like, my son will look in he had a moment with my sister. You know, Lunar New Year, Vietnamese people, we give out money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Envelopes and
The
stuff like
envelope,
that.
yep.
Yeah. So they get money now. They're like, okay, what do you do? And the first time I tell them, protect it. I'm like, here, you protect money? Yeah. And then save it. Yes, yes. What else? And then give some away. I'm like, yes. Okay, but remember,
Okay.
grow it. You have to protect it. Most people don't protect it.
Yeah.
right? That's that reckless carelessness of it.
But you're starting them so young on understanding it, that
And
it is a relationship.
It is. And the challenging part, and I think this is purposeful, the credit card, the casino chip effect.
Yeah.
You don't see $1 anymore.
Oof.
If I steal $1 from you, you'd be like, what the hell? That's my cash.
Right.
But if you paid $1 in fees, you don't feel it. Right? Now I'm shifting my mindset, and this is from my coaching. They're like, Denise, don't say $1, say 100 pennies to your kids. Like, that costs you 100 pennies. Now you can feel that.
Yeah.
Now you're not going to be reckless or careless or hide it in a dang book. That was 100 pennies, mommy. Yeah, that was 100 pennies. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I love this when I sit down with my clients or my agents, and I do a lot of breakthroughs with money.
Right.
Because some of my clients, you see them, they get their nails done. You know, this on average annually, $3-5 grand easily, ladies. And I don't know how y'all do it.
Easily.
Because for me, even at multiple 6 and plus, like, I'm still counting. I'm like, man, how do y'all do it on?
Every time I get my hair done, a little tear drops.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I know for me.
But I'm worth it.
Like, and for me, it's actually, maybe I don't know if other people like will relate to this, but when my hair is done, I operate better.
Yeah.
And for me, it's because I literally am drained by doing my hair, like my actual hair. Like the detangling process, the wash cut
It's a lot.
If I can put it in a protective style, it literally saves me hours.
So that to me is an investment.
Hours. It's an investment that makes sense to me. But then,
but
if
it's
I
not
want
an
that
insecurity,
outfit,
is it?
No. That
Okay.
one's not so much an insecurity. It's just literally like I get stressed by doing my hair and the time it takes.
Yeah.
And then my arms are tired the rest of the day. I don't want to do
That's how you got your arms?
Not anymore though, because I'm
Right?
getting styles. But it's those like little things. Sometimes they're worth it, but are you actually checking like, is this actually what's best for not just like me and my mental health, but profitability?
Yeah. And that's a whole healing
Yeah.
process too.
It is. It is.
And so going back to the relationship with what's that? No, there's two parts, but going back to the nails or the mindset of money, right? Yeah. And when I sit down with my clients, again, as a thought merchant,
Right.
that's the business. I'm just planting ideas with you because in our model in Insuring Impacts is we teach clients how to buy, educate them on how to buy versus teach agents how to sell.
Okay.
It's a different approach because I feel there's a lot of independent thinkers anyways. If I give you the truth about money exposed, I think you can make a logical decision. I don't need to emotionally sell you anymore because I know money hurts everybody. People need solutions that's authentic.
Yes.
That's mathematically driven, that gives you the truth. So I have all the tools to show mathematically how to get people out of debt and build wealth at the same time.
Okay.
That's the secret.
Beautiful.
And that is a plug for another time, okay? But when I sit down with clients and I'm like, can you save $300 a month? They're like, that's a lot of money. And I look around like, I know you spend probably $300 in bottle service, right? And or whatever, right?
Like, I know what you be doing.
Exactly. And without saying it.
Yeah.
But I'm not one to call shit out. I should. I wish I could, but I have to be tactful or tactical. I don't know what the word is. Both, yeah. And I would have to ask the right questions to help them think.
Yeah.
Okay, well, can you afford $10 a day? Yeah, I can do $10 a day. I spend that on DoorDash, or I do $10 a day is $300 a month, y'all. How about $5 a day? That's $150 a month.
Yeah.
That you can put towards something that matters to you, or
Right.
should matter, actually, at least.
Right.
Right. $16.67 is $500 a month. So sometimes it's scary in finances, and it's too big. Break it down.
Yeah.
Even as an entrepreneur,
The same
instead
idea
of like
as the dollar to the pennies, like
Yeah,
you
it's
just
like-
got to think of the quantity in a different way.
Exactly. And that's where mentorship matters. I'm a huge, or surrounding yourself with people who give you these ideas. Like as a new entrepreneur, you'll be like, oh my God, what's the goal? I'm going to make $1 million this year. I'm like, okay, that's $83,333 a month.
Yeah.
That seems more achievable, or maybe
Right.
$20,000 a week. Or break that down to sales. That's 3 sales or 1 sale a week. So now you can drive yourself to focus on the activities and not be so numb because you feel so far from the result.
Now it's just like, okay, how am I going to make this?
To me, sales, aka entrepreneurship, is the most secure job. It's the most secure job. Because once you know your numbers, it's guaranteed.
You go for it, and it's still within your control. It's about what you're putting in.
which is the most secure job. Because I will bet on me.
Yeah.
Because I know exactly what to do to make that number. Not because they just laid off X amount of people for no reason.
Yeah.
Not because COVID just shut me down out of my control. Not because the stock market just freaking dumped because something happened in a different country. I have no control over that.
And it goes back to your original statement of that only works if you believe in your value and your worth.
Exactly. And that you can actually control your money and your worth.
Yeah.
And people need to know that more. So
Yeah,
I appreciate
yeah.
this conversation
too.
and that you're on this journey and I get to be on it with you.
Yeah, it's learning so much, and I think so. I know we're getting like close to time, but I actually want to bring it back to somewhat of the very beginning, what we were talking about.
Okay.
Because what you're doing right now for me is helping me to find the different possibilities when it comes to the money game, financial services, and just understanding the options and pathways I can choose to take when I want to be, like you said, out of the middle class and more into a place of affluence and real wealth and building generational wealth for my family. But what you were saying originally was that necessarily wasn't the mindset of your family when coming from Vietnam. You saw something different when you took on that responsibility to say, Mom number 2, I'm going to take care of my family. I'm going to help find a way. And you found a way.
Yeah.
I'm so curious how your family responded when you started making these mindset shifts and changes. Because I know even now, talking to my family, there's still a lot of one-way thinking.
Yeah. That's very interesting because I have 2 extremes.
Okay.
I have a lot of, actually my family's just extreme in general. We don't do anything not extreme.
Okay.
Actually, my family on both sides, mom and dad, or at least mom's side, was very wealthy in Vietnam.
Okay.
But if you're wealthy, you're dead. The communists will take everything. That's what communism is. You're not allowed to be wealthy. The government has everything. And if you had wealth, you're dead. So imagine, we had butlers, we had so many businesses, jewelries, pharmacies. My mom was a princess and never had to lift a finger. And then coming to America living like that.
Drastic.
So she had to go through a shift.
Yeah.
But because of that shift, she became very frugal, very scarce. A great saver though. But she's also risk-taking, but she's just she knows how to stretch a dollar.
Yeah.
Dad, on the other hand, Mr. MBA, got into high-tech career at the perfect time, had multiple cars all the time.
Yeah.
He's high-risk businessman. I feel he's a great businessman, but, sorry Dad, this is free thinking, and hope you watch this because I love you. I feel like because of the fear of loss, he's stuck to be an employee, like a senior engineer, when I know he's worth more.
Yeah.
Right? I know you can do more, but because of that fear of not wanting to risk it, he's settled here.
Right.
But we constantly talk about ideas. This man is so creative. He's such a great leader and such a dynamic leader, and I know he can do a lot. A lot of his ideas he talked about happened. I was like, see, that could have been you, Dad. I just remember when I was a kid and back in dial-up day, he was calling Charles Schwab, making trades over the phone. That's where I was like, okay. And I remember my first time when I was in college, and I bought this program called Better Trades.
Okay.
Anytime there's an opportunity to make money with a guarantee, money back, I'm on it, because I'll get my money back. I just want the knowledge.
Yeah.
So I paid like imagine it, like I barely was working, and I paid $4,000 for this program to learn how to trade. And I said, I'm gonna get my money back if this. I'm gonna make sure I get my money back.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna rip everything. Back in the day in CD-ROM, I ripped everything, and I got all the program, and I'm learning how to trade. And on paper trade, I was a gazillionaire. I didn't base on emotions, because the market is just fear and greed.
Yeah.
Luckily, I love human nature. I study human nature. So actually, I think, and if you're intuitive, an energy or an empath, I feel you can be a great trader if you understand energy and people, because it's fear and greed.
Yeah.
Right? Tangent, sorry. So I told my dad, hey Dad, I made this phone call, and I said, instead of giving me the golden egg, how about you give me the goose that lays the golden egg? He goes, what do you mean? And this is my first pitch to a business opportunity. I was like, can I have some money to trade? So he gave me X amount of money, and in 2 months I got 300% return. So imagine I'm in my biochem class, and I'm making $500 or $1,000 a day. I'm like, then why the hell am I in school? Seriously.
Yeah.
I'm in class just for attendance, but I'm trading online. And I was like 19, 20.
Dang.
But then I also lost everything because 08, out of my control.
Yep.
But all of these lessons made me who I am today.
Right.
To learn the rules of a different game. I was like, okay, I was playing the middle class game.
Right.
I didn't have the right building blocks and foundation. Now I learned foundation. Invest in your guarantees when you have extra, take risk.
Yeah.
Vietnamese people, we gamble everything. We put everything, it's like, everything's risk, right? So now I'm learning I can afford risk because I have this taken care of.
Yeah.
Right? And you asked me something in the beginning about, was the pressure put on me to be mom number 2 and all that. It's always been in me, but I couldn't find the words. And my mentor, one of my mentors said it best. He says, making money is never about you. And once people understand that, from a business perspective, from a partnership perspective, from a family perspective, money comes very natural when it's not about you.
Yeah.
Then you're coming from service. Then you're very attractive. Then the universe just gives you all the who's, the hows, and the what. Where I just feel so blessed. I don't know how. I went through a lot of hardships. Still going. There's different hardships. Remember? But it's just all the right things are falling into place.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to bounce back anymore. It's not a bounce back game. It's like freaking leap forward.
Yeah. I love that.
I'm in a leap forward stage right now, and who can I take with me?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm committed to documenting the journey. And you follow my social media, because I was never really much in social media or going onto this podcast. I just had a conversation at my lunch today. I said, my social media page is for my kids. That's what inspired me.
Yeah.
Like all these messages
tracking the
and lessons.
journey.
Yeah, and the vulnerability is so that they know what mom does
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's my legacy.
Yeah.
So it's easier for
love
me to
that.
go onto social media now.
I love that.
It's not because, oh my God, I need more sales and please make me an influencer. No, I don't even want to be in this position. Seriously, it's hard work and it requires another level. But if I'm talking to my kids, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I learned. And maybe you won't hear it from me because one day you'll be like, Mom, yeah, whatever, Mom.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe one day. If not my kids, and hopefully my grandkids. Or, and that's why I'm open to this. And I thank you for pulling it out of me. And I hope to see more of that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, making money, if you were talking about money wounds, whatever, if you realize it's not about you, it's very easy.
Yeah. How old were you when your mom got sick?
27, 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
So late teens-ish, late 20s I should say, not late teens, but late 20s. What was the feeling you had when you found out your mom was sick?
Oh my God, she was like having a seizure in my arms. It was
Gosh.
in a weird way, and this is another healing where sometimes I feel like I'm not allowed to feel.
Oh.
I didn't feel.
You went right to action?
It was straight to action. Like, throw her ass in the car. We're getting her to the ER. Yeah, because she refused. She's so, I'm going to meditate and heal myself type, which she did. She's magical in healing. Like, because I worked at a diagnostic imaging center. She healed herself. The surgeon wanted to cut her liver. And she's like, no. Meditation, I think disappeared.
Wow.
They couldn't explain why, but we know why.
Yeah.
Of course, right?
Wow.
So since then, that's when I've been more open. And I always had a thing, and I still owe my sister a car. I never want my family to struggle for money.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if we didn't have to worry about money. What kind of mom would we be, friend? I think I would have been a full artist. I would have probably loved to study dance and music all day.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been my passion. Or I would have played some sort of sports or did something so active and so social. I wouldn't be in biochem. I sold out, y'all. Y'all sold out too. You sold out a little bit.
Technically, my first degree was dance.
Yeah, see, so we're like reversed.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that there's the term, the starving artist, for a reason, you know? And I told my sister when she was really young, I was like, study whatever the hell you want to study. Just don't worry about money.
Yeah.
And that was something I pride myself in. Like, don't ever worry about money. I got you. Just be the best you. Do what you love. The rest will come. I'm in tears doing this. See, you almost didn't make me cry. I thought I made it without crying.
You're like, almost there. Almost there.
I almost made it. But my baby sister is like so dear to me.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that she is who she is today, I'm really proud of her. So,
Good.
and I'm going to take a little bit of credit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, and you should. And you should. It's the power in... I want to say the power in family, but it's the power in intentionality.
So
Really,
good.
you know.
You need to have my sister on this podcast. I'm so
I would love
serious.
that.
She is
I would
badass.
love
She
that.
actually is my life coach in a way, indirectly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hook it up.
Seriously.
Hook it up.
She's badass.
I love the pride you have for her too. That's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful.
I do have a brother. His name's Daniel.
Shout out to Daniel.
Dan-
too.
shout
My
out to
brother's
Dan-
name is also Daniel. I
Really?
have 2 brothers, but one
Oh, cool. Are you the only girl?
only girl. Yep. Only girl, youngest. My brothers are 13 and 20 years older than me as well. So there was a big gap, and I think the kind of also trailed why I am the way I am. You know,
Yeah.
always being around older folks. My mom had me when she was 40. So like,
So it's possible. See, 40-year-olds, you can have
Yeah.
a perfectly healthy, beautiful child. I think a lot of my, because I'm near 40.
yeah.
Wow.
You don't look it at all.
Thank
but
you. Yeah, and a lot of my friends who are starting, quote unquote, it's not late. It's not like there's a timeline, but
Yeah.
they feel like it's dangerous to have it.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary biologically, but absolutely possible when you're taking care of yourself the best you can and just mindset.
Right?
Your mind can control a lot.
Pivot. What was it, 3?
I know. What was it? Pivoting, power of pivoting, resilience, and real positivity
Real
and
positivity.
optimism. Yeah. Okay, I have like 2 questions left for you.
All right.
You said you were like late 20s when your mom got sick, but I want you to think back a little bit earlier than that.
Okay.
What would you say now to your 17-year-old self?
What would
Thinking
I
about who you were at 17 years old, Denise.
I would say,
What would you tell her?
don't dim your light. Naturally, I've always been I was just reflecting on this. This is really perfect because I think I prepared for this a little bit. Or naturally, I reflect on this stuff all the time. I'm very ambitious, and I don't think it's because I had to prove anything or be whatever. Just naturally, I want to serve wholeheartedly always in everything I do.
Yeah.
It's just me, not saying I'm better than anybody else, right? But I people started being in my ear like, you don't have to work so hard.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Or the worst is when my sister told me, because at the age of 14, I had an ovarian cancer. I got my right ovary removed, right? That was a big breakthrough when I realized the importance of healing and energy, because at that time, my parents were going through a divorce. So imagine finding out you have the biggest life-threatening thing in a way, right? And your parents are going through a
Your support
divorce.
system's
And then just
changing.
like
Yeah.
drama in middle school, typical girl drama. I had no friends show up in my surgery. Oh my God, this is emotional, right?
Oh.
I was just like, but the only people who showed up was my family. But at that time, I was like, F you family, because you guys are all broken. I'm this rebel child. I'm on Lincoln Park, and I'm just skating, and I'm like emo child, like just totally opposite of this, okay? Like totally emo and just hate. I'm just angry.
Yeah. I mean, kind of typical middle school.
Yeah.
And adding those layers.
Exactly. Or maybe that came from emotions. It's all tied together. And it's because I'm living through it, not because I'm in theory.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and-
Practice.
exactly. And when my mom, right when they cut me, like my tumor was like this big. So my
Oh.
scars from here all the way down. They couldn't do
Dang.
the C-section because it was too big or something. Day 1, I started walking already without any pain medication because they want you to move your body to heal. And because my mom makes me laugh and I have this great relationship with her at that, and my vitals were all healthy, ready to go.
Okay.
And then dad comes and watches me the next day with new stepmom. And this is when I've learned, I'm like, okay, I am the same person,
Yeah.
but how come my vitals are dropping? How come I feel like crap? And I want to be on meds, but the more meds I take, the more I feel sick. So that's when I actually, at the age of 14, is when I started being more aware of the power of positivity or negativity.
Yes.
Just because my life depended on it. Because if
Yes.
I'm not in a positive mind frame, everything hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm in no painkillers. Because every time they give me a painkiller, I get nauseous. And imagine being cut open.
Same.
They just cut me open and I'm trying to throw up.
Right.
It's like
So
ripping me
more painful.
every time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't. So that's when I realized attitude was everything.
Yes.
Because my life depended on my attitude.
Yes.
So that was my first journey in breakthrough.
Wow.
So when you ask about like when my mom got sick or whatever, I'm not sure where this all relates, but there was a few things. So when at the age of 17, so since then I live life a little different. It was, I'm living like I'm dying, and nothing else mattered to me. It's I'm going to be the best me.
Yeah.
Not because I want to be better than you, not because I want more likes and popularity. Actually, I don't want to be popular, but naturally those who want, naturally is, right? In a weird way. It's really weird. So 17, they opened me up again because I almost lost my other ovary.
Sheesh.
But when they opened me up, they found nothing. Weird.
What?
I know. So another journey. Now there's this journey of, what if I can't have kids?
Yeah.
Isn't that what a woman's supposed to do? Just produce children all day and cook and clean, right?
Sure. Yes. Maybe.
Can't you tell? So my breakthrough, when you're talking to that girl, that 17-year-old in me, there was so many things I was going through in my mind.
Yeah.
But what happened mostly was because 14, I was already ambitious, right? I always wanted to be the best in what I do just because that's just who I am as a habit.
Yeah.
I don't know there's healing through it, just I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. But my environment made me slow down more. And I lost sense of myself. And I dimmed my light so that others can shine because I love people so much, but I felt who I am as a person makes them bad.
Oh.
Who I am as a person brings out their imperfection, and it's my fault.
Oh, you were taking all that weight.
I took every responsibility for how people felt around me because how I am makes them feel insecure.
Yeah.
And that haunted me for a long time till recently.
Yeah.
Going back to, remember I told you when people say, Denise, I can't be like you? That's a trigger for me.
Yeah.
When I'm like, I am so basic. You have no idea. I just made basic better. You know?
Yeah.
It's just human things. It's just, are you sure you want to be like me? Let me show you. Are you sure you want this life?
I got this whole thing. Hold on.
Are you sure
We
you
all
wanna
do. We all got our list.
Exactly. It comes with all that. And I hope that if I'm talking to my 17-year-old, just like, I just wish I just kept shining.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
Right? And that I can shine so bright that their insecurity don't even matter, that they're so confident because they borrow mine. Because I believe in them so much.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's where I got empowered. So 17, talking to my 17 self, I started hanging out in the library. People were like, Denise, I thought you were stuck up. I'm like, excuse me? Me? Well, you hang out with stuck up friends. I was like, really? Is that projection? Now that I'm like, we're going back, right?
Yeah.
But just the fact that they think I'm popular and cool, and I sit next to you to have a conversation,
Right.
that's empowering. I'm like, that's the weirdest humanly thing.
Right.
But if that's what works, then I will sit next to you all the time.
Yeah.
I will bully the damn bully. You know what I mean?
I did that in elementary school, but
Yeah, we will be great friends.
Yeah.
We will probably have fights all the time. and that's where I want that 17-year-old. I wish I had that impact then, but I wouldn't have known it if I didn't go through that.
you had
know
to
what I
go
mean?
through something to understand it.
Exactly. So and I do it still now. Like when I was going through my divorce and my other relationships, it's just, I realized because someone around me is insecure, I become more submissive. I become more subservient. I become like, I dim my light so that they can shine.
Yes. I've done that too.
And
Too many times.
that just kills me without knowing,
Yeah.
and my 17, 18, 19, 20, whatever, all myself, don't dim your light.
All of y'all.
All y'all Denises.
Don't do it.
Learn your lesson. And your future Denise, please don't.
Yeah.
And this is why I love this public display of accountability. It's just, I cannot when you're putting me in the light.
Exactly.
So I realized at this stage of my life and the next, I have to step into that. Because once I go secret agent like I usually do and isolate and be like, don't look at me in social media, I realize there's no accountability. I don't have to show up. I don't have to shine. I can play victim. But please put me in a position, camera on, then I know I have to be that person.
Yeah.
So
Keep being that model.
Exactly. And I just want to be that role model one way or another and hopefully showing people that it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that answered your question.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. You are leaving a ton of gems, wisdom, tools, resources, not just for folks listening and watching, but for your kids, right? Too. You're building those systems. You're teaching them now. So the last question is related to them. Just one thing, and I know this is probably hard to pick, but what is the one thing you want them to remember most as they grow up?
The one thing I want my kids to remember most, that they're their own person. That I tell them, it's like, mommy can tell you, daddy can tell you, all your auntie and uncle and your friends, but in the end, you're still you. Because my daughter was like, Mom, I want to look like you. I was like, I want you to look like you. But thank you, you know, and she dressed me. We dressed like twins the other day. I never wear a jean jacket. It's really rare. And I'm wearing a jean jacket with her. I'm like, what is this outfit? But I just own it. We went to the tech museum. But I'm really big on them discovering who they are. And I hope that they're in environments and situation, and I hope you're in challenges to help remind you and cultivate you on that. But I don't want you to have a perfect life. Whatever that means. It's just, I want you to have the right challenges. And may I give you the right processes to help you discover that. And if you don't, hopefully I'm still there to pick you up. Or help you process through it.
Oh, I love it. Girl, it's been so much wisdom, so many notes. We got the logic, we got the feels, we have the processes.
Yeah, and the music, and a dog.
Yes, and a dog, a surprise dog. So many good things. So the biggest thing I can say is thank you, truly. Thank you. And like, I think we say thank you too freely sometimes. Like, I truly mean it. Thank you for your presence, for your wisdom, for sharing it, because I'm learning a lot, and I know this is going to impact a whole lot of people out there. So please do not dim that light.
Yes, and please remind me.
And if you are missing somewhere, I'm going to be like, Denise, where you at?
Yeah, I need that. Because most people will be like, they assume, oh, Denise, you're busy, or she has it all together. But I had this conversation, I'm like, where do leaders, where do heroes, where do we go to bleed? When the whole world's looking for us for leadership and for comfort. Like, we need a community too. Like, we're human.
Yes.
I am not a hero, and nor do I want to be a hero in your story.
And showing that we're humans, okay.
Exactly, as we need more of. So, please.
Okay.
If I go missing,
I'm going to hold you accountable, but we also going to let them hold you accountable. So
make sure I don't go missing.
Tell the folks where they can hold you accountable to, where they can connect with you.
Oh, you can connect with me on IG. It's ABC, Denise, XYZ. Denise Do. It's pretty simple. Follow our movement, Insuring Impact. Beyond insurance, where we really want to teach people the rules of money, because we're all playing the game, whether you like it or not. But what's cool is we have the tools.
Yes.
And now we have the tools and the math to help you get there, so that you're just equipped. And I just want to equip you so that if and when anything happens, you're gonna make it.
Yes,
okay?
I love it. Big things coming. Thank you, Denise.
Oh, for sure. Thank you.
That's a wrap, y'all.
Thank you for tuning in to the Here to Uplift podcast. New episodes are airing every week with some bonus episodes in between too. So make sure you stay tuned by subscribing, following, liking, and engaging with us to let us know what topics you're most interested in and what might inspire you along this journey. We're going to keep working hard on our end because we are here to uplift not only ourselves, but our community too, and that includes you. So I can't wait for you to hear the next episode. But for now, do your thing, let's get it, and let's keep moving forward. Uplift yourself, friends. You got this.